What's up, everyone? Kinetic Coach Dan here at Home Gym Con. Seeing my brother from South Florida here for the first time. We're meeting in person. Don, the legend behind the Adex loadable maces and clubs. First of all, thank you so much for giving me one club without you even knowing about it. Don, how did you come up with this design, man?
All right, so I got hurt years ago. I got hurt bench pressing.
Oh.
So I was looking for a way to rehabilitate my shoulder.
Right.
Doctors told me I might be able to fix it with therapy. It wasn't damaged so bad. They said, you could do some therapy. The 1 pound dumbbell stuff really wasn't cutting it. I wanted to get back in the game. I fell across, I'm going to say, I came across a guy in 2007 doing a mill, this motion, with a club on, it wasn't even on YouTube. This was before YouTube.
Right.
And he had it on his website. And I was like, that's a thing I need to learn how to do. And I tried with a baseball bat, but it wasn't heavy enough.
Too light, yeah.
So then I was like, what do I have that's readily available around the house that I can work with this? And I had the adjustable dumbbells with the thumb screws on them.
Right.
So I took the weights off one side. I put 3 pounds on one side.
Nice.
And I just did this movement. And 3 months later, I was able to get my shoulder back to normal.
Wow,
So,
that's incredible. It's funny because that's almost an identical story to the reason that I started looking into dynamic club movements. One of them was the shoulder rock from Kabuki Strength. The other was the RMT club from WEC Method. And I have to say, your design is one of the most innovative that I've seen for clubs and maces. Now, at what point did this evolve into what became the Adex Club, and what is such a smooth and clean, well-machined design here?
Well, I got a little bit of a machining background.
Oh,
and
nice.
I've worked 43 jobs
Pizza
in my
man,
life.
machinist,
Chef,
legend in his own mind.
Let's get going. Cell phone tower climber, crane operator.
Wow.
I was never a fireman or a cop.
Well,
Not yet.
soon.
Soon.
You're probably in better shape than most of them.
But that design actually, I made my original ones in 2008 from T-ball bats. And I was using regular weight plates in there. And then I got a chance to go to a guy's gym down in North Miami Beach. And I think it's in Surfside. And I got to try real clubs.
Yeah.
And I noticed they swung so much better than the design I had with putting the weights at the end of, let's say, a handle, and all the weight was bunched together.
Right.
Because it swung differently when the weight's elongated, and it felt more balanced, more controllable.
Right.
And it was not like working with a hammer. So I kind of took that design. 2010, I actually drew a sketch of that one, this club right here. I drew a sketch of that one. And I was sitting in a crane while I was doing this. And I had nothing to do that day. Yeah, I had they didn't call on me for anything. It was like they completely forgot they had a crane on the job site.
Wow.
So I sketched this out and I started calling people like metal distributors and machine shops. Can you make this? Can you sell this? And I made my first batch in the end of 2013. They came out I made my first prototype in 2011 from the design I made. Now, I studied mechanical drawing in junior high school and high school. So I had a background.
Finally putting your schooling to use.
Everything I did in my life, including working in the food industry, led me to this because I learned how to talk with people and describe my products, out in public.
Yeah,
so
which is important.
It's very important, and to talk with people like you. So with that, I drew that. I thought about it, and the reason why I didn't buy the first club is because the first 15-pound club that I looked at was $89 plus shipping.
Wow.
And at that time, I couldn't afford it because I was paying child support through the nose. And so, I just couldn't afford it. That's why I was looking for things around the house.
Practical obstacle right there,
Yeah. So, in contrast, the first prototype I made cost 10 times that amount.
Right.
So I was paying $900 for my first prototype.
Just to get something made,
but I used it for 2 years to make sure it didn't fall apart. I trained with it every day like religion in my backyard. 2013, I made a batch of them, brought them out in 2014. I quit my job as a crane operator on May 24th or 23rd that year. And you know, I
And that's,
started
and that's
making
all
it,
she wrote.
and it's all she wrote. And I've been doing this since then. And you know, the company's grown, and we've offered more product.
Yeah, we certainly have a lot of great innovative designs with Adex Club, and it's all good and well to sit here chatting about it, but why don't we start swinging some clubs?
Yeah. So I know you know how to swing a club.
Let's do it together.
So there's no. What do you want me to swing?
Whatever you want to swing. Let's have some fun with it.
You're gonna get that heavy one, and I'm gonna get this light one. What do you want to do? A little bit of 360s, like a little halo?
Well, some of the basics are always good, right? So why don't we start with some
Let's start with a halo.
basic halos, some pendulums, right? Now everybody's got their own terminology for this stuff, I feel like.
Yeah, well, if you just talk whatever, what you think to call it, I'll figure out what it is.
Now, the funny thing about this is a lot of people tend to think that, this is a motion that's contraindicated. That's literally what I was told by the orthopedic surgeons who I was dealing with at the time, who would say, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that.
Shouldn't do that.
Now
this is part of rehab.
And now this is actually better rehab for most people, to just teach them to be able to control weight, move it in a bunch of different ways. But what you've added to this and what makes it so special is that progressive overload aspect to it.
Yes. So
the ability to change the weight on one single unit.
On one single unit. So you can go from empty handle with the thread set adds another 1.5 pounds. This size weight right here is a 5-pound weight. We do have 2.5-pound weights and 1.25-pound weights. Got a lot of thread in there for a lot of safety. Right. The threads are beefy. That's actually a thread that screws in twice as fast as normal threads do. And when you tighten them down like that, they lock like a son of a gun.
Right.
You can't open them. You have to bop them on the ground or whack them with a hammer to open them.
And, what makes this, again, so special is the ability to progressively overload, to dynamically load the forearm, the hand, the elbow, and the shoulder in a number of different environments. And it's allowing the body to work functionally from the ground up, the core out, and create stabilization through the entire shoulder joint, which allows you to really understand how to apply movement and fluidity.
Especially if you think about like this emulates more of the patterns that you would do in daily life.
Right.
And we can even talk about like human life, the way it was meant to be, for building construction of dwellings, building, picking up children, rescuing someone, and also fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, these were used by fighters for over 3,000 years.
It is literally a club in its own right. And I really have to say, I've enjoyed utilizing this product with my clients down in South Florida. We're both South Florida guys, so this is a really special moment for me to get to meet Don and test out all of the different new designs that he's got here. Make sure to check these guys out on Instagram, Adex Club. Make sure to follow them. And head over to adexclub.com.
That is adexclub.com.
adexclub.com, and check out all the different club and mace options that they have available, guys. This is a fantastic product with a fantastic guy who's doing a great job of creating products that are going to help you live kinetically.
Can I add one more thing in there?
Yeah, sure.
Not only check us out at adexclub.com, Adex Club. We're saying it 2 different ways. That's okay. But also, if you guys live in the South Florida area, or if you're down visiting and vacationing in South Florida, stop in to see us. We're in Deerfield Beach. It's one of the best beaches in Florida. And we have an espresso machine. We got a lot of people that say, I've got the best coffee in South Florida. It's better than a lot of restaurants. So, there
you have it. Go get some espresso down in Deerfield. Come see us, hang out. We'll train with the Adex Club and make sure
and
the Adex Club, and we'll make sure to live kinetically. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Rolling.
Wait, here he goes with the 3, 2, 1.
Well, that's going to be awkward for everyone to see. Why was he doing that?